I'm on a quest to find my favourite game of the year, one game at a time. And today, fate decides. And it landed on Crysis. Let's see where it ends up on the leaderboard. Okay, so I did buy this game on release back in 2007 when I built my first computer thinking it was going to be able to handle it, but it could not. So it's actually pretty fortunate that it popped up on the wheel. So now I get to finally have a good solid crack at it, and gee whiz, what a game this was. Now the game was based on the year 2020, but I don't remember hearing about any of this on the news. But jokes aside, for a 2007 game, I feel like it was advanced for its time, from having all sorts of vehicles that you can actually drive and operate, to majority of the buildings that you could enter into, and quite often they would have ammo cache inside of them. I was like a stunned mullet when I tried to hide from an enemy helicopter by seeking shelter in a shack, only for it to get completely mowed down seconds later. So I was quite surprised with the fact that this game had such a high level of detail. Yeah, so I got humbled pretty quick straight out of the gate. The enemies were so accurate compared to myself. So my Rambo style approach of just driving in, blowing everything up and trying to gun them all down did not work for the first hour of gameplay. I was absolutely struggling in the early stages of the game until I got a scope for my rifle, but even then it was definitely quite difficult for me to get through it, especially the enemies that wore enhancement suits. I swear I went through about 5 magazines trying to kill one of them, but I must have just been missing majority of my headshots. But once I got my hands on a minigun, or as I called it, Hailstorm, it was all over Rover for them. Yeah, so I was expecting a much more of a linear style game, kind of like a Modern Warfare 2 type of shooter. But not only did you have to evaluate the situation, look at the surroundings, choose the best vantage point and how you're going to tackle each outpost, but you also had to have some form of ammo management and be aware of what weapons you've got, or whether you want to use the enemy's weapons, because they will drop the ammo that you'll need. So you also have to continue to do this for each of the chapters of the game, as you don't just renew your ammo at each checkpoint. And one thing I did notice was after the halfway point, pretty much when you enter the aliens' lair, I felt like it got a lot easier. Maybe it could be because the aliens weren't as accurate, or they were just a bigger target for me. But for some reason, after I escaped there, it was just smooth sailing for the rest of it. I will say that the enhancement suit was a bit irritating for me to use, as say during a firefight I would want to use defense mode, but when you're actually running it was very slow. Maybe it's more so just the standard running speed I didn't like, and they added the strength part of the suit, but that was pretty much just used for like along paths they would have ledges to jump to, or in the final parts to break open doors, which made it feel like a different version of quick time gameplay. But I think you can use it for melee combat, but I would just die instantly before I would get too close to anyone, as they all seem to be the best gunslingers imaginable. Also, I didn't like how much it rewarded you for headshots, as it could be a one-shot kill to the head, or it could be 10 to 15 bullets to the chest, which I felt like was a bit of a ridiculous ratio when you can only hold like between 20 to 150 bullets per gun, just my opinion. Lastly, the mission where you have to escort profit from one fire source to the next was one that I was not a fan of, but then again I do loathe escort style missions. So even though I struggled, at least this time my computer didn't. I'm probably going to have to make this like the baseline for future shooters that I do play, as I felt like it was a really good game, but it wasn't fully my cup of tea as far as shooters go, so I believe I will have to rate this one a 7.8 out of 10, as even though it doesn't quite suit my taste, I still feel like it was a good experience. And I won't be putting this one as a favourite games contender, as I just feel like there has to be shooters that I fancy more. But I could be wrong. Thanks for watching. I've got one question for you. What was your favourite weapon during your run? Mine had to be the shotgun when I got to use it.